If you've been feeling disrespected lately, this is for you. Not the surface level kind of disrespect, like someone cutting you off in traffic, but the kind that lingers. The kind that makes you question your worth, your voice, your place in someone else's life. That quiet frustration when people talk over you, dismiss your ideas, ignore your boundaries, or treat your presence like it's optional. If that's been sitting heavy on you, stay with me. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Disrespect rarely starts with other people. It starts with what we tolerate. Not because you deserve it, but because at some point, consciously or not, you allowed a line to be crossed without reinforcing where it stands. And once people sense that a boundary is flexible, they test it. Again and again. Until what once felt wrong starts to feel normal. But let's get something straight. Being disrespected is not a personality trait you have to live with. It's a pattern, and patterns can be broken. A lot of people think gaining respect is about being louder, tougher, more aggressive. It's not. Real respect doesn't come from intimidation. It comes from clarity. From knowing exactly what you will and will not accept, and being willing to act on it. Not just say it. Act on it. Because words alone don't set boundaries. Consequences do. If someone interrupts you constantly and you keep shrinking back, you're unintentionally teaching them that your voice can be overridden. But the moment you calmly say, "Let me finish," and actually hold that space, you shift something. Not just in them, but in yourself. That's where respect begins. Self-respect expressed outwardly. Now, this doesn't mean you need to confront everyone aggressively or turn every moment into a battle. In fact, the strongest people aren't reactive, they're selective. They choose when to engage, when to walk away, and when to completely remove access. And that last part is important, because sometimes the most powerful response to disrespect isn't correction, it's distance. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone deserves multiple chances. If someone consistently undermines you, dismisses you, or makes you feel small, you don't need to convince them to value you. You need to decide that their access to you is no longer guaranteed. That's not pride. That's standards. And yes, it can feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry about being seen as too much, too sensitive, or difficult. But ask yourself this: is being palatable to others worth being invisible to yourself? Because every time you silence your discomfort to keep the peace, you're making a trade. You're choosing temporary harmony over long-term self-respect. And that cost adds up. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you demonstrate, first to yourself. It shows up in how you speak about your needs, in how you respond when those needs are ignored, in whether you stay in environments that drain you or step away from them. People notice that. They adjust accordingly. And here's something most people won't tell you. When you start enforcing boundaries, some people will resist. Not because you're wrong, but because they were benefiting from the version of you that didn't have them. That's not your problem. That's your confirmation. Growth often feels like loss before it feels like progress. You might lose certain dynamics, certain relationships, even certain identities you've carried for years. But what you gain is far more valuable. A sense of control over your own space, your own energy, your own worth. And once you experience that, you don't go back. So if you're feeling disrespected right now, don't just ask, "Why are they treating me this way?" Ask a harder question. What am I allowing that needs to change? That's where your power is. Not in controlling others, but in deciding what version of you shows up and what that version no longer tolerates. You don't need permission to be respected. You need alignment between what you believe you deserve and what you actually enforce. And the moment those two match, everything changes.